On November 19th and 20th, depending on your time zone, we're going to have a breakdown, breakthrough, breaking free new moon in the truth revealing deep water sign of Scorpio, bringing shocking news, a communication or information that you didn't see coming, or you could receive a very empowering divine download, epiphany, or even have a spiritual awakening that sparks an exciting new direction. Regardless of how this new moon activates you, my friend, and activates us all collectively, the universe is supporting us to release the past fully, to wipe the slate clean, to let it all wash away. Because 2026 is pulling us toward the brand new era. It is very much time for us to allow this future focused new beginning to bring us more in alignment with our true self, our soul's destiny. So in part one of this video, I am excited to share with you who will most feel this new moon in this intense, deeply emotional sign of Scorpio. What are the themes that you can expect to be navigating? I'm going to give you the full story based on the planetary conversations happening, and as always, tips for how we can move through this energy with the most ease and grace. And then in part two, I will be doing your 12 sign readings based on your rising sign. Watch your sun and moon sign as well for additional themes and intuitive messages. And I will be pulling an oracle card for each of the signs as well. Be sure you watch part one so you don't miss the nuances and nuggets of wisdom that I hope will really empower you to receive the gifts of this new moon. So before we dive deeper, if you're brand new to the channel, if we're just meeting for the first time, welcome to this like-minded community. It is always my intention to inspire and empower you through Western tropical astrology. If you're highly sensitive or an empath, or you resonate with being on a spiritual journey or an ascension path, you are in the right place. Take a moment to tap the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Welcome back to my subscribers. If you've been watching and you haven't yet subscribed, please take a moment right now to do so. It really helps me to be able to make more quality content for you. I'm Betsy Gutting. I am a psychic astrologer, intuitive life coach, and it is my joy to meet you on Zoom live to support you through one-on-one astrology consultations and clarity coaching sessions. If you could use some extra support right now, stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll tell you more about my offerings, and I have a free gift for you. I'll say more about that free gift and how you can get it at the end. And finally, if you would like to get my weekly inspirational astrology updates, the astrology between videos direct to your inbox, you can go to my website, subscribe for free, and you'll get my free gift instant download at the same time. Now, all new moons always reflect our hope and optimism and spark of passion for a brand new beginning. They begin a new cycle of manifestation, a cycle that will culminate 6 months from now. But often we have what I call a mini culmination 2 weeks from this new moon, which will be the Gemini full moon on December 4th. During this new moon, the sun and the moon are together in Scorpio. Scorpio is a passionate energy. There is no middle ground with Scorpio. It's all or nothing. Have you ever heard that term, they're dead to me? That is a Scorpio reference. In Scorpio energy, we are either deeply emotionally attached to whatever our desire is, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a situation, a job, a career, a financial plan, a life purpose. We're either all in, completely focused, sometimes obsessed, and sometimes to the point of, I will do anything to maintain this and make sure that it bears fruit. Or it's completely over, we've left the party, it's the death card in the tarot. So because a new moon is a time to set intentions, to, as we say, plant the seeds in your fertile garden for what your heart most wants going forward. If you're not passionate about it, my friend, I invite you to go deeper. And the words go deeper are connected to Scorpio as well. Why? Because Scorpio represents the underworld. It represents the deep dive into the unseen, the unconscious realms. In Scorpio energy, we can be navigating the continuum of powerful and powerless, But always what we're pursuing in Scorpio energy is something that we are emotionally attached to, or we want to be deeply emotionally attached to it, even if we say we're not. Because Scorpio is connected to the 8th house of the zodiac, which rules things like deep emotional and sexual intimacy, our investments, our nest eggs, our desire for long-term financial security, whatever we own that is beyond kind of the everyday stuff, the stuff that we think is going to take us into old age, for example, or be there for us if we need it. Savings, the 401k, the rainy day fund. It's where we seek security. It's also debts and taxes and loans, other assets. It can be contracts with clients. It can be a relationship with a person or a relationship dynamic or our connection to financial security that makes us feel anchored. Think of the deep roots of an old growth cedar tree. We want to feel that those deeps run deep, deep, deep and wide, wide, wide. And when any of that feels threatened, we can be catapulted down into the depths of our emotions. So what does this mean for this new moon? Whatever you desire or whatever comes up for you emotionally, it could be something that you feel like, I have to hold on to this. This is not negotiable. If this ends in my life or if I lose this, I don't know what I'll do. You could feel that way. Or you could feel intensely excited, sparked, creatively passionate, and on the pursuit. I'm pursuing this. I'm ready. I'm willing to sacrifice even. This is something that I truly want. Now, there are nuances to this, and that's what fills out the story of this new moon, which we're going to get to. There's also a wisdom to Scorpio energy, and I believe that at least for some of us, those of us who are going to feel this most intensely, there's a releasing and letting go of attachment that is meant to happen so that we can move forward more freely without the extra baggage of the past, perhaps, maybe without a heavy layer of responsibility or burden, something that we're meant to shed. We call Scorpio energy skin shedding, right? It's the snakes shedding a skin. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. So what is the wisdom of Scorpio energy? This is it in a nutshell. If we are too attached to something, if we think we can't live without something, and this is often what we call a dependency, it can be an addiction. It can be a codependent relationship. It can be us engaging in a toxic work environment, but not being willing to leave the job because we're attached to the salary, for example. The Scorpio new moon wants us to be strategic. It wants us to be smart about our decisions. Not necessarily throw the baby out with the bathwater, but also not stay in something in which we're stagnating or giving our power away or compromising our health on any level because we're afraid to release it. Most of us have experienced this before. If we're too attached to something external, and that's pretty much everything in this human life, right? In this earthly life. If we're clinging on tightly to something that is not feeding us, that is not good to us, then the truth is we're actually not in our power. We're letting ourselves be in bondage to that situation, person, thing, or thought, or scenario. And the universe doesn't want that for us. The universe wants us to soar forward into the new era of 2026. The universe, your higher self, your soul knows the truth, which is that you are only truly free when you are in service to your own creativity, your talents, your gifts, what you wanted to share, contribute to the planet, and to your own heart, your own joy, your own passion. And so the universe could free you of a dependency during this new moon so that you can experience the truth of your power and your true potential. What I love about Scorpio energy, and if any of you are afraid about what's going to go on during this very intense new moon, I hope that you remember this point, and that is that in Scorpio, whatever is lost is always regenerated. The snake does shed a skin, but the shedding reveals a new skin. This is a death energy, but with every death, there is a rebirth. There is a full circle transformation if we're willing to let the death happen. And that is the hard part. That is the hard part for our human self, right? To do that, we have to trust the process. So why is this going to be such an intense new moon? I'm going to tell you that in a moment, but first I want to share who will most feel this Scorpio new moon. It's happening at 28 degrees, so the second to the last degree. We're almost at the very end of Scorpio energy. And by the way, this is one of a string of new moons, including the last new moon we had before this, that is happening at 28 degrees. Very much reflective of the fact that we're at the end of an era. With a new moon at 28 degrees of Scorpio, those of you who have planets or points between 24 and 29 degrees of Scorpio, or the other fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, or Aquarius, you will feel this new moon most intensely. Also, if you have planets or points between 0 and 3 degrees of the mutable signs, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, or Virgo, you will also feel this new moon more intensely. On a collective level, because of the aspects that I'm about to tell you about, I believe we're all going to feel this quite intensely in the energy of what's going on in the world, or your local environment, or your family, or your workplace. So what is making this new moon so intense besides the already intense themes of Scorpio that I just shared with you? First of all, the sun and the moon, which of course make up the new moon, the sun and the moon are conjunct Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. When Mercury is retrograde, we're looking backward. We're reviewing, refining, fixing something, going back over the territory that we've already been. Mercury rules our thoughts, communication, the news headlines, the epiphanies that we have, the clarity that we seek, divine downloads, and those seemingly random conversations that turn out to have deeper meaning when something really strikes us, when we get that light bulb moment. The sun and the moon conjunct Mercury can definitely bring about some sort of moment of truth, something that really does take you down to get to the root of the matter, the heart of the situation. Now, because Mercury is retrograde, Mercury will come back to the same degree point in December, around the days of December 8th to the 10th. You could feel that. So there could be what we call a reversal of whatever's happening during this new moon, whatever information we're getting. For example, if the stock market plummets, and I'm not saying it will, but I do expect financial volatility. If it plummets or it goes way up during this new moon, it could reverse itself around that time in December when Mercury comes back to this degree point. Significantly, both the new moon and Mercury are going to be opposing, opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Almost exactly 1 degree apart. So this is a very intense Uranus opposition. What does this mean? It means shocks, moments of disruption, nervous system jolts, or it can be that epiphany, and we'd much rather have it happen that way, right? And this is when I say, please, Spirit, please bring me an epiphany. Please don't bring me a discombobulating moment, because that's how Uranus can feel. It can feel very, like I'm getting an image right now of a pinball machine, like just the neurons or your nervous system feeling like a pinball machine. That can be really fun if you're playing pinball and you're focused on that kind of fun. Not so much fun when you're trying to do your regular life, right? But that's also the design of Uranus. Uranus wants to wake us up. Uranus wants to take us out of our normal routine to show us that there's something else, that our spirit has more potential. So often we can't see beyond a dream or a plan. So often we can't see what we are truly capable of. And Uranus, by design, if we're in the wrong place, whether it's a relationship that isn't right for us, if it's a relationship pattern, if it's a substance that we're taking in that isn't good for us, if it's something that we're pursuing that on an evolutionary soul level, we have moved past, we're not meant to be in that place metaphorically anymore. Think of it this way, Uranus wants more for you. In fact, we could even see Uranus as like the fairy godmother or the fairy godfather, the tough love kind. It's like when you really want to be out of your job. If you've ever had a job in which you felt like the environment was toxic or you're just so over it, you just don't want to work there anymore. And then you end up being let go. And you're devastated. But once you absorb the shock of it and you have time to, soothe your human self, which you have to do, soothe yourself and get support and all the things, that's when you realize, oh my gosh, I'm kind of glad I didn't want to be there anywhere. Anyway, I wish I would have had the courage to leave. But if we don't have the courage to get ourselves out of an unhealthy situation, our Uranus fairy godmother or fairy godfather will do it for us. Now, keep in mind that Uranus in Taurus has brought to us in the past and could bring to us again disruptions of the internet. Uranus is connected to the power grid. Uranus is associated with our nervous system, so our sleep can be disrupted. You can just feel like the nervous system is over amplified. You can feel it physically. That's when we really need to ground our energy. Take the walk in nature. In my neighborhood, I love the forest. There's so many trees around me. And when I'm walking, I literally breathe in the scent of the trees because it's strong. And it's amazing how that just brings me back down to earth. So rejuvenating. We could also experience in the markets financial volatility. I wouldn't be surprised if this new moon kicks up extreme weather related events such as hurricanes, flooding, earthquakes, fires. But we always want to keep in mind, and I'm always reminding myself of this as well, that Uranus is a breaking free energy. It wants to liberate us, free us emotionally. And in my November astrology video, I tell a story about one of my Uranus moments. I've had a lot of them, and I've shared a number of them in my other videos. And some of you have heard this before, but I'll just give you the nutshell of it. One of my most difficult Uranus moments was when I was searching for my passion. I really wanted to do some sort of certification program or something that was going to open me up to what was my next thing after leaving the practice of law. And my interest was so sparked in this expressive arts therapy program using all the different art modalities for healing. And I looked at the brochure for months and months and months. I looked at the brochure and I was like, this is so me. I love the arts. I'm mostly a dabbler, but I love all the arts. And I love the idea of being in a circle of women for a whole year, the community, the camaraderie, and it would prepare me for this profession. And I wanted to do it so badly, but we didn't have the money. And then one day I'm driving in my Isuzu Trooper with the retro rust color and gold racing stripes, and the car breaks down. It blows a head gasket. So now we're looking at a bill of $1,000, $2,000, I don't know. But that was my Uranus moment. That's a Uranus thing. Something can break. Something that wakes you up to the fact that it's time for a change. It's time to move forward. It's time to meet the needs of your heart. And you would think we have this big car bill. I would be like, well, now I really can't do this expressive arts therapy program. But the exact opposite thing happened to me. I was like, screw this. I'm doing that program. I don't know where the money's coming from, but I'm going to find a way. And I did. Perfect example of a difficult Uranus moment freeing me to say yes to my heart. Now, fortunately, this new moon has support. It has support from the outer planets. Neptune retrograde and Saturn retrograde, both in Pisces, also at the high degrees, just like this new moon in Scorpio. They are dancing in harmony with the sun and the moon, helping us to wash away the past, dreams that didn't pan out, losses that we've had, emotional pain, letting go of our past. We have to be willing to wipe the slate clean of our past. If we're still thinking about past so-called failures, if we're still thinking about mistakes we made, if we're not saying yes to what we really want because we're afraid that we can't be successful, often based on a past scenario where something didn't happen the way we expected, right? Neptune and Saturn are helping us with ease let that go. There's a cleansing here that is meant to happen if we allow it. And there's a new dream. Neptune and Saturn, were just in Aries. That's the new dream, the new possibility. It's a challenge. There will be a risk involved. We're supported to say yes to that new dream, but first, many of us have to release what feels like the ghost of the past. So it's time to let any sense of burden, of imperfection, of self-doubt. I don't know if I can be successful. I don't know if I have the right stuff. I don't know if I'll get the support. Our minds can come up with all kinds of reasons that it's not possible for us or that it wouldn't be a smart decision. But it's not just the new moon harmonizing with Neptune and Saturn and Pisces. It's also Uranus and Taurus. And Uranus and Taurus will have none of that. We'll have none of those excuses from the mind. It's saying we have to open up to new possibilities. We have to focus on our future. This is a future vision. Even if something really disruptive happens that is so upsetting to you, my friend, it will probably be completely out of your control. There's only so much we can control, and that's very little. Sometimes we just have to cut our losses. or say this, we don't know if this is the whole story. We don't know the whole story yet. We're not going to know ultimately until 6 months from now. We'll know more around that December 8th to 10th period when Mercury comes back to this degree point and opposes Uranus again. So we are in process. And finally, remember that Jupiter in Cancer, now retrograde, is also harmonizing with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, harmonizing with Uranus in Taurus, and the new moon. There's a lot of support here, but we have to balance the Scorpio and the Taurus energy. And we have to, most importantly, let what is leaving, what we don't have power over, what we can't change, the serenity prayer, we have to let that go. And we can ask for that from the divine. And I'm paraphrasing here. Grant me the courage to accept what I cannot change, the strength to change what I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, my friend, use these harmonious energies, which include a water grand trine, and water grand trines help us to heal emotionally. Use this beautiful water energy to cleanse yourself and forgive yourself. And I'm going to be forgiving myself too, because there are things that haven't gone the way I wanted them to go. And there are things I'm trying to control that I know I can't control. So we're all human. We're all in this together. And let's have the intention. This is my encouragement. Have the intention, if this resonates for you, that no matter what happens during this new moon, however jolting it could be, it's not going to keep you from blooming into the next greatest version of who you came here to be. It's not going to keep you from keeping your eye on the prize of your future joy and fulfillment. Because nothing, including a Uranus moment, including a Tower moment, nothing can rob us of our joy unless we ourselves allow it. And the universe, your higher self, your soul, has a greater plan for you. Okay, my beautiful friends, let us do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of your natal chart corresponding to the area of your life in which this new moon in Scorpio is happening. Also listen to your moon sign and your sun sign because there are additional themes and intuitive messages that may very well apply for you, plus your card reading. We're going to start with Scorpio because beautiful Scorpio, this of course is your new moon. Happy birthday to those of you with November birthdays. Scorpio, the new moon in your sign, and this one is going to be riveting in some way. This could bring an unexpected Uranus moment. I speak about this at length in the first part of this video, so go back and watch that if you haven't already. But it's happening in your first house. So when we have a new moon in the first house, it is literally saying, what do you want for this next chapter of your life? Because generally speaking, occasionally we have more than one new moon in a sign, but it's not very often. And this new moon is connected to roles, titles, how you see yourself, how you want other people to see you. It is related to your physical vitality. It is often connected to our health for that reason. So it's asking you, are there any changes that you want to make? Are there new goals, new visions? What is the new reality? The new reality that you want to see come into fruition over the next 6 months. This is what you are meant to plant those seeds of intention for, Scorpio. And because the new moon is opposite Uranus and Taurus, only 1 degree apart, there is change afoot, or has been afoot, honestly, for some time now. This is not a new story. It's not a new story. Why do I say that? Because Uranus and the new moon are respectively at 28, 29 degrees. And what does this mean? It means we have already been through this territory. This is a closing out. This is a releasing. This is a letting go. Anything that we have been especially clinging to or dependent upon that is no longer good for us, that is being cleared out by the universe, by Uranus, if necessary, if that's for our greatest good. Or you could get a spiritual awakening, or you could have an insight or a moment of enlightenment, and it could come through a partner, it could come through romantic or business or best friendship kind of relationship that is in some way showing you something else. You know, sometimes when a relationship is ending too, or when we haven't been in a close partnership for many years or for some time, sometimes another person comes along and they're kind of Uranian. What does that mean? It means that they're different from the usual person that you might meet or hang out with. There's something unconventional about them for you. Something about them is not your usual connection. And this alone can wake us up. So that could happen for you too. But big picture, when it's a new moon in your first house, know that it could impact your relationship life, it could impact your career, it could impact your home, and it's going to most likely bring about a change in how you see yourself, a new positive way of seeing your potential, of saying yes to something that might be scary for you, or of taking, I see an image of somebody stepping off a metaphorical cliff, like knowing that it's the phrase leap and the net will appear, knowing that it is time, just feeling that. And that's one of the things that Uranus does that is such a gift, is it gives us that feeling. It electrifies us. It's an electrical energy. It electrifies us and says, it is time. It is time to follow your future vision, even if you don't know how you're going to make this happen, even if you don't know how it's going to come about. The time is now. Carpe diem, seize the moment. So this is your new beginning, starting fresh, and it is electrifying some of you, really amplifying your nervous system, perhaps giving you a real aha moment around a future vision or around what is time to release and let go of. Okay, so Scorpio, let me shuffle for you now and let us see what the cards have to say for you. I'm so interested to see and curious to see how the cards come out. I picked a couple of cards before this for the group. I always do that when I'm preparing for a video, and I got shadow work as one of those cards, and I got cleansing as another one. So we know that it's Scorpio energy. Scorpio, you are no stranger to shadow work and cleansing. You know that that's part of the process. You're a water sign. You know that cleansing your emotions is a very good thing. But let's see what card comes up for you specifically. And thank you so much, Scorpio, for liking this video, for leaving me a comment, and for subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps me. I'm super grateful. Scorpio. Scorpio, your card is truth. I mean, this is a Scorpio word. It says moon rising, truth. So these orange moons always remind me of eclipses. These are what lunar eclipses look like. It could be the next full moon, which is happening 2 weeks after this new moon, that you will have a truth revealed. Of course, you could have a truth revealed during this new moon. I mean, truth is already a Scorpio thing. You are a truth seeker, Scorpio. You are a truth teller. You know the truth when other people can't see the truth. You can tell from a mile away if somebody's being honest with you or not. It's one of your superpowers. And by the way, Scorpio, I have a video on your superpowers for every sign. That playlist is linked in the description box below. And a lot of Scorpio people have really resonated with the video for your sign, in case that interests you. But going back to this card, there's this ladder of moons, and it shows this moon cycle happening. And it could be that the next lunar eclipse that we have also brings you a truth or an epiphany that becomes a turning point for you. Maybe there's a truth that you need to tell. Maybe there's a truth that you need to claim, or maybe whatever truth comes to light during or after this new moon, it's going to set you free and set you in a new direction or on a new course, or free you to say yes to your heart, beautiful Scorpio. Libra. Hello, beautiful Libra. Libra. The new moon in Scorpio for you, where you are seeding new intentions, where you are letting the universe, your higher self, know what you are going toward. I should say your subconscious mind know, programming your subconscious mind for what you intend to create and receive. This new cycle of manifestation, it's happening for you in your second house. The second house is the house of all of my needs are met: material security, self-love, self-worth, knowing that you deserve what your heart most wants, and your earned income. When we have a new moon in the second house, we are very much aware, because new moons are dark moons. They're times of reflection. They are times that often we want to be in our own energy. Not always, but a lot of times we like the feeling of communing with ourself. It's our inner masculine and our inner feminine coming together, deciding what do we want to, what's next for us. And so often, because this is the house of very material things, we are often more aware, especially with the Scorpio new moon, we're more aware of where there's a lack. We're more aware of where we want to up level our sense of abundance or what we're worthy of. Or we are saying, I'm going to ask for a raise, or I'm going to apply for that promotion, or I'm going to leave this job, or it's time for me to start my own business, or it's time for me to, you know, figure out a new stream of income or start that side gig or, do that thing that I've said that I wanted to do and get into action. So it could be any of those kinds of things. Know that Uranus is transiting your eighth house, and that can bring a lot of different things. It can bring financial gains, it can bring financial losses, it can bring Uranus represents change. It can bring wake up calls when it that are connected to long-term finances, emotional or sexual intimacy. So it's a relationship in a money house, and it's the house of emotional attachment. So Uranus is trying to get us unstuck from any attachment that isn't healthy for us during this new moon. So, beautiful Libra, what is it that your heart wants? Is there a change that you want with your earned income or with your sense of deserving or aligning your life more closely with your values? A new sense of this is what's important to me, and I'm going to change my priorities, or I'm going to change my behavior. I'm going to change what I do to align with my priorities and what I most value. That could be up for you too. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Beautiful Libra. Libra. Oh, and I want to say thank you so much for liking this video. If you would like to leave me a comment, I love hearing from you. And thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. It really helps me. Libra. Your card is the moon's wisdom. Take the lead. You are being given the thumbs up for taking the lead in something. What do you see in this card? It's funny because you guys are going to laugh maybe, but when I see this card, I see an egg white and egg. And I know that doesn't make any sense because this looks like a full moon and it looks like it's rising above this. And of course, this could be snow on the top of the mountain and the moon. You tell me what you see. But what's most important, I think, here is that there is something coming to fruition. There's a fullness, as we often have with a full moon. And this is saying the wisdom of the moon is on offer for you, but also the wisdom of the moon reflects your own inner wisdom. And what is your inner wisdom guiding you to do? This says the moon and your own inner wisdom are guiding you to take the lead, not wait for anyone else's direction. And this could have to do with your material security. Maybe you're waiting for a supervisor, for example, to tell you how valuable you are, where instead it's better for you to say, can I meet with you? I want to talk with you about whatever you want to say, a positive change, or I want to talk with you about a goal that I have. And that's maybe when you sit down and you explain your value and you ask for the raise or the promotion. That's just one example. So many different ways that this could play out. What is it bringing up for you, beautiful Libra? If you would like to share in the comments below, I would love to hear. Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, the new moon in Scorpio is happening for you, where you're setting a new intention. You are talking to the divine. You're beginning. You know what your heart wants, right? We always know what our heart wants if we truly listen. This is happening for you in your third house of communication, your own inner narrative. The third house is also our mindset. Third house is the house of moving and shaking, the things that we do on a daily basis or the things that we do on a weekly basis, the appointments that we have, the ways that we, when we go to a health practitioner or we get a massage or we do a workout or a yoga routine, like all the things that we do, it's kind of like the regular things that, or not regular, but it's a mercurial house. It's transactions that we make, buying our groceries, short trips, our devices, our cars, If you are a freelancer, that falls sort of the everyday ins and outs and the workings of what you do, that falls here. And that's why we put websites here. We put writing, learning. If you're writing a blog, for example, if you're planning to teach a course and you're putting that together, any of the daily, it doesn't have to be daily, but any of the work that you do to in a way, it's very mundane, I have to say. Like it could feel very mundane, or it can feel exciting because it's a trip, a long weekend trip, and you haven't been there before. But also relationships with relationships with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, so extended family and neighbors, landlords. Those relationships fall in this house as well. So what does this mean? It means that your intentions are revolving around any of these things that I shared. And it could be that you are deciding where you want to be in terms of a neighborhood or where you want to do your networking. Maybe you join a meetup group. Maybe you want to find more community. Maybe you're saying, I need to get out and talk to more people about what I do if I want to get more business for my business. You might want to improve a relationship with a family member, or it may be time to have a conversation with somebody like a landlord or a mortgage broker or somebody that, or maybe you want to lease a new apartment. And so you're out and about looking at apartments. You may be figuring out where to do, on what platform you want to do a website. Uranus is opposing. As I talk about in part 1 of this video, I go into all the nuances of that and how we can empower ourselves through it. But I'll just let you know in this reading that Uranus is opposing this new moon, and Uranus is transiting your 9th house. So Uranus is an electrical energy that wants to course correct us if need be. And in your 9th house, that can be an out of the blue opportunity to travel to a new place. It can be something happening. I remember having a hurricane in Puerto Vallarta where I was living, long distance travel, where I was living in this other country, and we had a major hurricane, and it showed me a truth that showed me, why I wouldn't buy a house there, quite honestly. But also Uranus can, bring us a moment of epiphany around where we've limited ourselves, or it can give us an opportunity to study something or learn something or publish or teach or do a podcast or get our message out, share our enthusiasm with others. So, this axis of the 3rd and 9th house, where the new moon and Uranus are opposing each other, can be very inspiring, very expansive, and awakening for you. And because the new moon is happening in a communication house for you, Virgo, and you're ruled by Mercury, and Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, and Mercury is conjunct this new moon, you will probably feel this, especially if you have planets or points in the early degrees of your sign, like 0, 1, 2, or 3 degrees. You will probably feel this more intensely. And that doesn't have to be bad, right? That can be awakening. So keep an open mind and call on the divine, get support if you need it, and know that this is happening for your greatest good, whatever happens, because Uranus moments, for our human self, they can be challenging. But we only have so much control. We only have so much control. And I think that's where we have to, because you're very responsible, Virgo. You're an earth sign and you're very sweet. Most of you Virgos are very sweet, and you just want to do the right thing. You serve humanity and you work really hard. I always say Virgos are the workhorses of the zodiac. I have my North Node in Virgo. I have my Pluto in Virgo. I have a lot of Virgo energy. And I also worked with my best friend when I did have a job. My best friend was a Virgo. My youngest daughter's a Virgo. Virgo and we always used to joke, my friend and I, we are the workhorses of this office. And we were, because you truly want to serve, Virgo. You truly do. I understand that you often come from a very altruistic place, but you also have to factor yourself into the picture and get your needs met. Okay, so Virgo, let's see what the cards have to say. Before I tell you what the card is, thank you so much for taking a moment to tap like on this video. Thank you for subscribing if you haven't yet subscribed. It really does help me to put out more quality content for you, and I love your comments as well. And your card is transformation. If this is not, and it says moon magic, so this is magic. This is going to be magical for you. But if this is not a Scorpio card, I don't know what is, with all of this black energy, which is traditionally connected to Scorpio energy. You are going to receive a transformation during this new moon, and I believe that it is going to bring you more abundance, because I see the gold full moon, which is going to be possibly reflected 6 months from now in the final culmination of this new moon, or 2 weeks from this new moon when we have the Gemini full moon. But you can see that this goddess is fully in her power. She's fully in her power. Is this fire she has in her hands? She is a warrior. Virgo, this is inviting you to open up and receive. Arms wide open, receive. Be fully in your power. Let the light, the golden, abundant light of this new moon, and I know the new moon is a dark moon. We don't see any of it, so maybe it's the Gemini full moon when you are doing this, but maybe you want to dance your prayers, sweat your prayers, as we say. This is showing me, let your wild woman self or your wild man self out. Express, release, let go. Claim your goddessness or godness. Know that the best is yet to come. And you can claim that if you want in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Leo. Hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, this new moon in Scorpio is happening in your 4th house of roots, belonging. This is the house of home and family, ancestral healing, and healing the mother line, healing your ancestral line. This is an important new moon for you because it's happening on an angle of your chart, the 4th house, and that makes it more significant for you. And it also makes what we call a square to your energy, and squares feel like tension and pressure that activates us to take some sort of step, make some sort of change, or take some kind of action. And in that way, it's a forward moving new moon for you. It's a dark moon, so during the dark moon, we are not seeing anything in the sky, and that naturally pulls us in to reflect more. But this is asking you, what do you want in any of these areas of your life? And because it's a Scorpio moon in your 4th house, Leo, you're no stranger to this energy. It's Scorpio energy. It's passion, it's drive, it's focus on what our heart most wants, but it's also where we're meant to purge any release. Some people don't like the word purge, and I totally get that. Release, let go, let ourselves have a good cry, let ourselves get the anger out if there's anger, whatever it is that's coming up. And because the transit of Uranus opposing this new moon, and that would put Uranus in your 10th house of career, because that transit can be quite difficult, or it can be exciting and illuminating, the lightning bolt of new possibility of awakening. It could be that, or it can be something breaking down, like I talked about in part 1 of this video. But because of that, Leo, there's some kind of change that either has already happened, and most likely it's already happened for you in your 10th house of career. Maybe you changed a career. Maybe you let go of something more conventional and followed your spirit, so to speak. Maybe you retired, or you're about to do that, or you took a sabbatical, or something shifted and changed either in your home and family or your career, or both. Or it's still ready to happen, because this is happening at the end degrees of Scorpio, which is saying, and it could be a change in your home and family. Like you could be moving, you could be remodeling, you could be building a house, you could have had something happen in your home that, like, you found out there was something that you had to reduce. That's Uranus, when we get these moments of, I didn't know this was happening, I didn't know there was rot behind that wall, kind of thing. Not saying that's happening to all of you by any means. It may have never happened, or may never happen for you, but that's just one very simple example. A lot of people, maybe their dishwasher floods their kitchen or something, and then they get they're able to use their insurance and get a whole new kitchen. Like there are a lot of great things that can come from Uranus moments too. But what's most important is that there's a change that has already happened or could happen. And if you haven't had a change yet, then this Uranus, especially if you have planets or points at the high degrees of your sign, Leo, like between that 24 to 29 degree span of degrees, something could open up for you, something could surprise you or shock you, and that begins a whole new chapter for you. That begins or a whole new beginning or a new home remodel, or you realize you can buy maybe somebody is foreclosing, there's a full foreclosure and you're able to buy a home because of that. Or something happens in your area, your local area, like the hurricane I was talking about in Mexico, that makes you realize that. And I'm not saying, again, I don't want to scare anyone. I'm not saying you're going to have something catastrophic happen, but sometimes something happens where you're like, it's like you get that moment, that feeling right in your heart of, I know I need to change. And that's the beauty of Uranus. But this is a new beginning, and we're meant to set intentions for what our heart most wants. So what does your heart most want in the areas of home, family, or career? Beautiful Leo. And let's see what the cards have to say for you. And I'm shuffling, but before I pull a card, thank you so much for tapping like on this video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't already, it really helps me, and I love reading your comments as well. If you want to comment or share this video with a friend, let's see what the cards have for you. Leo. Your card is Moon Memories, the Past. This is one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. You may feel nostalgic during this new moon. We have a lot of harmonious energy with Jupiter and Cancer, which can really bring us into nostalgia. Same with Neptune and Saturn retrograde in Pisces, all very nostalgic energies. So you could be pulled by your spirit into a memory of the past that then opens you up to, it's like resetting the let me try that again. It's like resetting the subconscious mind toward something beautiful and enriching, something that really lights your heart up. And sometimes that can be, in the past, this happened. I took a tropical vacation or whatever it is for you. And it tells our subconscious mind, I want more of that again, because the subconscious mind, of course, doesn't know the difference between past, present, or future. And the full moon, we're getting a lot of full moon cards for this video. The full moon, there's going to be a full moon 2 weeks from this new moon that could spark something for you or bring you an opportunity. And then 6 months from now, from this new moon as well, something coming to fruition for you. So use your past to spark your passion or release something from your past. If you have moved on in a practical way, it may be time to release it from your emotional realms as well, if it's something that you no longer want to hold on to, beautiful Leo. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and rising in Cancer. And this new moon is happening for us in our 5th house of love, romance, creativity, children, your inner child delight. So what a beautiful place to have a new moon. When I state those themes, beautiful Cancer, what comes up for you? What does your heart most want? What do you want to create or co-create during this new moon? Love and romance. It doesn't have to be a new relationship. It can be one in which you want to deepen or get that spark happening again, the passion. Or if you haven't gotten out of the house, Cancer, which we Cancers can be, can definitely be a fact of life for a lot of Cancer people. If you haven't gotten out and about enough and you don't have other ways of meeting people and you do want romance in your life, then you may need to change up your routine a little bit. And that is what this new moon is helping us with, for sure, with Uranus opposing it. Uranus in the 11th house of online dating, also the 11th house of tribe and, other going to other places, communities and meetup groups, social media platforms. Also, if you're launching a business or you're wanting to get the word out about an event or anything that you're doing, the 11th house is also the house of branding and promotion and friendships, anything going on in your friendships, long-term financial gains. Uranus in the 11th house can shake up returns on investment. We've had a lot of volatility in the stock market. I will not be at all surprised if that happens again during this new moon, FYI. But Uranus transiting the 11th house can also bring in new people, new opportunities, people that are different from your usual type, so to speak, people that really spark your aliveness, Cancer. So I think this is an important new moon to be fiercely honest with ourselves about what we desire, how we want to use this fifth house energy, and are you having enough fun? Are you enjoying children if there are children in your life, whether they're your own or somebody else's? Where do you want to, where would you feel most nurtured? What would nurture you and bring you the most joy? Beautiful Cancer. That is the intention that you are meant to set during this new moon. And I'm going to shuffle for you now. And while I'm shuffling, I want to say, turn some cards around here to get them all going in the right direction. While I'm shuffling, I want to thank you so much for being a supporter of this channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, please take a moment to subscribe. It's free, of course, and it really does support me to make more content for you. And also, thank you for liking this video and commenting. If you choose to comment, I love hearing from you. So, Cancer. Let us see now what the cards have to say for you for this Scorpio new moon. Cancer, your card is, it's time to stop trying to do it by yourself. The yin moon, that's a softness, that's your feminine energy, whether you're male or female. Accept help. Accept help. What do you see in this card, beautiful Cancer? The majority of the cards that I pulled for this Scorpio new moon have been full moon. So that's really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what comes about in the Gemini full moon that happens 2 weeks after this new moon. Of course, that Gemini full moon for you, Cancer, would be in your 12th house of your mystical self, and rest and retreat and subconscious mind and so forth. I don't want to go into that now. We'll talk about that when we get to the Gemini full moon. But this card there's a lot of orange in this card, which is creativity and the stars, and it looks like there's a person meditating. Looks like there's a person in deep repose, which is very Scorpio. There's a tunnel here, or not a tunnel, there's a portal here. There's a portal with amplified energy. This could be the amplified Uranus energy. This could be a real creative breakthrough for you, actually. If the help means you're calling on the divine, do that. If the help means you're getting an astrology consultation or a coaching session, do that. If the help means you're calling a friend or reading books, big picture, this is saying you're not meant to carry the burden on your own, Cancer. And I don't mean burden as in this heavy weight, but you're not, that's the Uranus is in your transiting your 11th house of community. You're meant to receive, trying to find the right words here. I'm tuning in as I'm talking to you. You're meant to receive, I'm just getting the words of like releasing the burden. There's a burden you're meant to release. The words dysfunctional independence. Have you heard those? That's my colleague, Robert Holden. I love that phrase. Some of us have been so independent that we haven't reached out for help. And sometimes it's because we don't trust that other people will be there for us, or that we can trust that they will, that they really have our best interests at heart. But this is saying you've changed, you've grown, you've evolved, and you can accept help. Just know that your own deep intuition will tell you if somebody has earned your trust or not. Beautiful Cancer. If anything that I am sharing, or if you want to claim that you are supported, in the comments below, I would love to hear. Gemini. Hello, beautiful Gemini. I have my natal sun in Gemini. Gemini risings are going to experience this new moon in Scorpio in their 6th house of daily work, your work environment, your relationships with your coworkers. This 6th house also covers everything to do with your physical body, your health, your routines, the things that you take into your body, the food you eat, any supplements, any shifts that you might be making, any focus on nutrition or on workouts or, building strength, all health routines. This is the house of optimal health, wellness on every level, emotional, mental, physical, and also your lifestyle. So with a new moon here, Gemini, you could be very focused on one or more of these areas of your life. And because it's Scorpio energy, we are meant to really make sure that we are releasing toxins, and that includes toxins in a work environment if that's appropriate to what you're experiencing, or toxins in foods, or toxins in, or just proactively choosing to eat more healthily. Some of you could be going through some sort of a health journey right now. That's a lot of different things, right? You could be getting treated for something. You get the idea. You could be changing a habit. You could be releasing an addiction. Could be going through some sort of detox. That would be super wonderful for this new moon. Uranus is across from this new moon, activating it in your 12th house. It's transiting your 12th house of the mystical realms, your deep, deep, deep unconscious, the 12th house, your ability to channel, your psychic ability, out-of-body experiences, deep, intense dreams. This would be a new moon to be experiencing those if you're not already. You probably are, because we are in Scorpio season. So anything transiting your 12th house is also talking to your 6th house in Scorpio. So Gemini, what do you want to co-create? What do you want to see come to fruition 6 months from now? Pop that in the comments below if you want to share. And thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much for supporting the channel in the ways that you do. If you would take a moment to like this video, to leave me a comment if you feel like it, and to subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me, and let us see what the cards have to say for you. Beautiful gem. Your card is the Law of Attraction, Moon Mastery. This card reminds me of the 3 of Cups. There is so much beautiful energy flowing from this card, Gemini. It's very you. Gems want to be with like-minded others, simpatico others. Gemini is the sign of the siblings. And here we have, siblings can be soul siblings, right? They can be chosen family, or you might relate to wanting to celebrate or commune with your blood siblings. But this is saying invoke the law of attraction. Feel the feelings of having what you most want. Get into the vortex. Know that your world can be beautiful. Know that you can create this, the yellow, the poppies, these blooming poppies. So much abundance. This almost feels like a larger than life kind of scenario. And this is saying tap into your magic. Moon mastery. This is going to be a mastery, like a self-mastery new moon for you. You're mastering something, probably emotionally, but maybe it's you're mastering the law of attraction. Maybe you're practicing the law of attraction. Maybe you are really focusing on aligning your thoughts with what you most desire. If there's something you are afraid of because of the Uranus transit, flip it. Flip it. If you're afraid of losing something, flip it to something like I'm a winner, or you will find the right words, Gemini. You're a master at words. You're a master at communication. Decide what you use those I am, those powerful words, I am, and have an intention that reflects what you want to experience. If you want to claim that I am, whatever that is, in the comments below, let us know. I would absolutely love to hear. You'll inspire all of us. Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are going to feel this new moon intensely if you have planets or points in the high degrees of your sign. It is happening for you in your seventh house of partnerships, any relationship where you have that person's back and they have your back, mutually reciprocal, loving relationships, whether they are in business or in, your romantic life or best friendships. Taurus, this is a new intention for a fresh start in your relationship life. And that's, like I said, all relationships where there is unspoken or unspoken agreement that you are, you're wanting to share energy. Now, because it's a new beginning, we're meant to set intentions. We're meant to, you've learned a lot, Taurus, with Uranus in your sign all of these years. It's been like 7 years now, 7, 8 years. When all is said and done, it will be 8 years. You have learned so much. And Uranus has transited your first house, which affects your sense of self, your own identity, the roles that you've taken on, the roles that you've let go of, but also very much your partnerships, because the first and the seventh house are always talking to each other, and the seventh is where this new moon is happening for you. So if you haven't already had a really big Uranus moment, and I'm sure most of you have, if you haven't, that could happen during this new moon when Uranus makes this opposition to when the new moon opposes Uranus. And it will happen again in December. I give all the details and the nuances of this new moon in part 1. So Taurus, you are one that would definitely benefit from watching that, any insights that you get. What do you want, though? That's the question always for a new moon. What do you want going forward? What is your vision for partnership? What is your vision for being in a relationship that feeds you, where you are bringing, I don't really like those words, bringing value, because it sounds so corporate to me, but we know what that means, right? And value is actually a Taurus word. So on a deep soul level, what do you want to experience with another person and receive? Receiving too. Taurus, your sign is connected to self-reliance. It's connected to material security. It's connected to building and manifesting. You are a master manifester. But the Scorpio energy is where I would think, because you have your seventh house in Scorpio, I would think that that deep intimacy is something that a lot of you want. So you let me know if you want to share. I know it can be very private. Scorpio energy is very private. But let's pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. And thank you so much for supporting the work. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking a moment to tap like, to leave me a comment if you care to share, and to subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. Let us see what the cards have to say for you. Taurus. Ooh, Taurus. I love this card, Enchanted. This is going to be an enchanted moon for you. It says moonlight. Check it out. So beautiful. The very dark night sky. There is a portal here. There is a full moon. This is a portal energy for a lot of you. That means you are walking through one energy into another. That means you're leaving the present and going into the future. And this really red energy reminds me of Aries energy. It reminds me of the fact that Saturn and Neptune have left Aries. They've retrograded back into Pisces and into Pisces, both of them, but they're going to go back into Aries, and that is going to be your new dream. So I'm getting a sense from this orangey red energy too, that there's something very fiery that's burning in your belly or burning in your heart, or something that's really going to support you on a material level. And you might have to go through some fears, but there's also a lot of passion here to walk through this portal and get through to the other side of the enchanted, high vibe, enchanted place. If you want to claim that you are walking into enchanted moonlight for this new moon or anything else, beautiful Taurus, let me know. I'd love to hear. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. You are going to experience the new moon in Scorpio in your 8th house of emotional attachments, power and control. You are seeding a new beginning, a new dream, a new vision for the next 2 weeks and the next 6 months, what you want to co-create and experience in this house of deep emotional intimacy with a partner. It can be a business partner, it can be a romantic partner, it can be anyone with whom you share resources, time, money, or energy. So there's a fresh new beginning in your eighth house. That means that you could be your new moon intention could have to do with paying off a loan. It could have to do with getting some sort of financial backing. It could have to do with buying a piece of property, a home, or maybe rebalancing. If you do have investments, maybe you make a new investment, or you cash one out, or you are rebalancing in some way. But there's a vision here, a long-term vision that you probably have, Aries, for more security financially, or for security or flow and like solid anchoring with a partner. It could also have to do with your sex life. It could also have to do with your taxes and, wanting to get those in order. You may need to set a boundary during this new moon because of the Uranus opposition that I talk about in part 1 of this video. Uranus will be opposing this new moon in your second house. So many of you have experienced changes with Uranus transiting your second house, changes in your money, changes in possessions, changes having to do with your own sense of security financially. Or you could have had a real shift with Uranus transiting your second house in your sense of self-worth, deserving, up-leveling that, many of you, doing some inner child work, some of you. Boundaries may be needed, though, if you have another Uranus moment, and also just because it's Scorpio energy, Pluto is the co-ruler, and that often brings about a need to set a boundary. So, beautiful Aries. Let's see what the cards have to say for you for your new moon in the 8th house. This is also the house of passion. We have Aries, you are so passionate. I know this because I know a lot of Aries, and I have my Mars in Aries, and passion is not negotiable for you. If you are not in a place of passion, and the passion here would be tied to all those themes that I just described, the things that anchor us, things that make us feel secure on a long-term basis, or the things that we are most emotionally attached to. That's this house. And if there's passion that is lacking here, for example, if you have a falling out with a partner, you have a falling out with a business partner, or you are, going through a very difficult time of splitting up, maybe you sold something like a business, or you've split up with a partner and you're dividing things. I know those are really, really hard things to be going through. So I want to acknowledge that. But of course, you are if that is happening for you, you're on the road to feeling more free and more liberated and stepping more into your own authentic path, more true to yourself, more empowered, Aries. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. Thank you. If you would, take a moment to like this video, take a moment to tap the subscribe button if you haven't already. This really helps me a lot, and I love your comments if you care to leave a comment as well. Okay, Aries. Aries. The full moon forgiveness. So we're going to have a full moon 2 weeks from this new moon in Gemini on the 4th of December. And this is saying that full moon will be, or you could do it during this new moon, will be a good time to really take stock of, do you need to forgive yourself for anything? Do you need to forgive others for anything? There's a fresh new beginning. This looks like a bright, bright, beautiful super moon. And there's like ice on these mountains, right? There's ice, but there's also this purple energy, which is connected to divine energy. It's connected to Neptune, actually. Neptune in Pisces retrograde is harmonizing with this new moon, and forgiveness and compassion and releasing any burden is part of this new moon's themes as well. Maybe somebody's forgiving you. Maybe you are cutting ties to your past. Maybe you are forgiving your past. This is a time that we're meant to do that, as I talk about in part 1, so we can release any heaviness or any sense of the past being a ghost in the way of our future, of our glorious future, beautiful Aries. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. The new moon for you in Scorpio is happening in your ninth house of expansion, your belief systems, your growth and learning. This is teaching. If you're publishing something, if you're broadcasting something, if you are enthusiastically sharing a message with somebody, if you are doing any sort of long distance travel or moving to another country or exploring that or exploring other cultures, learning a language. There is something here for you in the way of new horizons and new adventures. This is a freedom house. You are meant to expand with this new moon. So Pisces, what do you want? Have you been traveling? Do you want to go travel? What new adventure do you want to have? Do you want to do a podcast? I know not everybody is doing these kinds of things, but it could be taking an astrology course. It could be going on a spiritual retreat. It could be like I said, learning a new language or getting involved in, you know, we can experience other cultures by cooking foods and doing rituals and things that the people in other cultures do as well, right? So a lot of different ways. Or you could realize during this new moon that there is a belief that you've had that's limited you, that you are ready to completely release and let go. Uranus, the big change maker, bringing us an epiphany or an aha moment or a breakdown, breakthrough, break free, is opposing this new moon in your third house. So Uranus would be anything that is jolting or startling or that you didn't expect in your third house. This could be a communication from somebody. The third house rules communication. It rules our devices. Definitely, Pisces, be sure that your devices are, it could be simple things like we had a power outage here. Fortunately, anytime I've had a power outage, it's been like at night. I did have one video upload that was delayed by a few hours because of that. But anyway, it's only happened once since I've been here, and it was on a weekend and all of that. But it reminded me that keeping your devices charged at all times is a really good idea, because if you're on low battery and you lose power, well then that's just a little reminder for some of you. Also, be very careful when you're driving, just because the third house is our vehicles. And, I've said this before in my past videos, but if you're new and you haven't heard it, anything to do with operating, when you're cooking, or it's just easy to be distracted with Uranus transits. It's easy to not be aware and have little mishaps that I hope that you won't have, beautiful Pisces. So let us see what the cards have to say for you. Again, recapping, this is a new beginning. It's meant to expand you. It's something that you want to learn and grow through, or new scenery, metaphorically or in truth, literally. This is time for you to feel more free and to have a new adventure and to really expand your mind in some way, or expand yourself emotionally too. It can be that as well. Just the joy of being in new waters, so to speak, Pisces. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. And thank you if you would take a moment right now to tap the like on this video, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps me. And I also love reading your comments if you care to leave a comment. And your card, Pisces, is Moonlight Serenade. Change your tune. So this card is very appropriate for where this moon is happening for you. It's happening in your ninth house, but Uranus is transiting your third house. And guess what? The third house is our inner narrative, our thinking. And this is saying, and also the ninth house is our belief systems. And this is saying change your tune. It's a metaphor for the way that we think, right? Or the approach that we're taking, or the attitude that we have. If you are not feeling in your full power, beautiful Pisces, I'll show you this. There's a lot of abundance here, right? This is an orchestra. Pisces, I know a lot of you are very artistic and creative. Some of you could be musicians. Of course, this is a metaphor for all creativity, and you are very creative, and the moon is raining her light down on you. And it is just saying that the moon wants to serenade you, but you may need to change your tune to receive the abundance that you most desire. Do you need an attitude adjustment, as we say? Is there a narrative that you have that is related to the past? Because Pisces, you're associated with the 12th house, and that is our past. And a lot of people with Pisces energy come in on a soul level with the plan, soul level plan, to release past life experiences, past experiences of deep pain. And so that could be part of your process during this new moon, to do that so that you can erase or really truly put in the past, and that can mean, a real shift in consciousness, even the times in your life where you felt victimized by others, because those are real experiences. It's not that they didn't happen. They happened. They could be very painful. They could involve loss, but we don't want the ghosts of your past to haunt your future joy and vision, right, Pisces? So if this card resonates and you want to share anything in the comments, feel free. I love hearing from you. Aquarius, Aquarius, this is the dawning of the... You fill in the blank, Aquarius. It's your age, Aquarius, it's your age. And the new moon in Scorpio is happening for you in your 10th house of career, legacy, retirement, semi-retirement, or your life purpose expressed, your vocation, your passion, feeling fulfilled in how you spend your time. What does this bring up for you in terms of what you want to seed intentions for this new moon? What do you want to co-create with the divine, beautiful Aquarius, in the 10th house? That is saying the world is your oyster. This is a whole new era. Pluto's in your sign. It has been in your sign for a little bit now. Next year, Pluto is moving on from the 0 to 1 degree point. It'll be at 2 degrees for a very short time, and then it's moving on 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 5 degrees next year. So I'm kind of getting a little bit more detailed than I probably need to be, but my point is that Pluto is firmly in your energy, and Pluto is the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth. It is saying it is time for a lot of you, it is time for the new era. It's the new era of the world, but also your new era to start, Aquarius. And because you're having this new moon on an angle of your chart, the new moons on the angles are much more, we feel them more intensely because it's an angle, and it's, one of the 4 key points in your chart. Your MC, your midheaven, your career point. You don't have to have a career. You don't have to have a profession. It's just a matter of how do you want to spend your time. As Mary Oliver says, and I love to quote, what would you like to do with your one wild and precious life? And notice what comes up when I ask you that question. I'll ask you another one. If time, money, and resources were not an issue, if you could say yes to what your heart most wants in this moment, what would you give yourself permission to do, be, or have? Beautiful Aquarius. Now, Uranus has been transiting your 4th house of home, family. The 4th house is also our roots and our belongings. So you could have been asking, if you haven't moved already, if there hasn't been some sort of shakeup in your home, some sort of change in your home, or with a family member. Maybe a family member has moved out, moved in, and so forth, or a roommate, or just it's with Uranus transiting our 4th house. You could have done a remodel, you could have rebuilt something or built something, you could have moved more than once. A lot of different things that could have happened here. You could have done ancestral healing work, you could have done a lot of holding care of your inner child and really healed from a childhood wound. So many different things. But this new moon is pinging, Uranus is pinging this new moon. So both of these areas of your life, your home and family, and your life purpose expressed, career, and so on, they're both being lit up. That means you could have a desire in either of these areas of your life. Aquarius, let us see what the cards have to say. What is it that you truly desire? Let me know in the comments below if you want to share. And thank you for taking a moment to like this video. Thank you for taking a moment to subscribe to the channel. Your subscribes make a huge difference and it will allow me to make more videos for you, which I do love to do. Let me see what the cards have for you, Aquarius. Changes. The Quicksilver Moon. This card came up the last time we used these cards. I don't know if it was for your sign, but I love the Quicksilver Moon because it says something could happen quickly for you. And I'm not surprised, Aquarius, you are co-ruled by Uranus. So you could be activated during this new moon for that reason too. Uranus is one of your rulers. What I love about this card is that they are changes that are making her feel more like her true self. She's in her sensuality. She's feeling, you could see the image. She's feeling really beautiful in her body and in her spirit. And she's exuding these rays of light that are coming out from this full moon that's behind her. And then the two swans representing your swan nature. And it's happening quickly because it's Quicksilver. So a change can come quickly, and it's going to be one that helps you to embody your gorgeousness that much more, whether you're male or female, or whatever you relate to. A beautiful new beginning is on offer for you as long as you stay open to the change and you ride with the tide, beautiful Aquarius. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. You are going to experience this new moon in Scorpio in your 11th house of the world is your oyster. It's a brand new chapter. It's a new cycle. That is the 11th house. When we have an 11th house lunation, we've come full circle. We're ready to start something new and fresh. So what is your intention for a new beginning or vision? It could have to do with something that you want to put out into the world, something you're branding or promoting. It have to do with people that you're meeting, that you are your supporters and allies and friendships. This is the house of I am supported. A social media platform. That could mean, of course, putting a message out through social media, doing a video, doing some sort of campaign, getting support, writing and putting your writings out there. So many different ways of expressing. But it's where we are gathering community around us. And we're not meant to do it alone, and we're not meant to feel like we are, having to hold everything up. We're meant to know that there are others supporting us, and we're not doing it alone. And that's not easy, especially Capricorn, because you tend to be you tend to be the leader. You are a provider energy, which is a beautiful thing. You provide for others, you serve others, and you're really good at it. But you're also meant to receive. This is the house of long-term financial gain, so that could be on your mind during this time. Also, just, some of you may really want to expand your horizons. Now, Uranus is transiting opposite the 11th house in your 5th house. That means changes in children, love, and romance or creativity. You can be really sparked by the divine with Uranus transiting your 5th house, or you meet new people. They don't have to be lovers, but they could be. They could be new children coming into your life. I'm just seeing these sparks of aliveness, like sparklers on the 4th of July. That's what I'm seeing. Your heart is meant to be stirred by Uranus. You are meant to have new and different experiences that bring you more alive, Capricorn. So let's see what the cards have to say. Leave me a comment if you choose to, if you'd like to, about what your heart wants going forward, your new beginning or vision. And know that this new moon harmonizes with your energy really beautifully. Uranus makes a trine to your energy. That definitely helps. And then Scorpio energy makes a sextile, which is new opportunities and solutions and the ability to pull resources out of the air, so to speak, to get all of your resources together that you need and help from others. So Capricorn, let us see what the cards have to say. And thank you if you would take a moment to like this video and to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It makes a huge difference in my life and for my work, so I can keep making videos for you. And I really appreciate it. Okay. Capricorn. Your card is a healing moon. This is going to be a healing moon for you. Some of you would benefit from seeking healing, to seek healing. What a gorgeous, gorgeous card. All of this vibrant rainbow light. This is reflecting the moon cycles and the vibration of the moon. This reminds me of Uranus, actually, this vibrational frequency. There's a healing frequency to this moon. Not surprising since it's Scorpio energy, right? Scorpio is that deep, getting to the root of something. Allow your fears to come up. Allow your fears to be released. Allow yourself to have the good cry if that would release the burden, Capricorn. If you're feeling any sort of burden, you're ruled by Saturn, and Saturn can be a heavy weight. Now, Saturn during this new moon is harmonizing with the new moon. That helps. And Saturn's in Pisces, so that harmonizes with you. That's sextile energy. That is opportunities as well. But it still means we can carry our past on our back. It still means we can carry burdens. It still means that we can be holding things against ourselves. And this new moon wants you to release them. If seek healing, when you hear those words, seek healing, if this brings something up for you, such as getting a Reiki session or a massage or an astrology reading or a coaching session, whatever would be soothing and nourishing to you, beautiful Capricorn, I think you will be glad you did. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Beautiful Sag. Beautiful Sag. This new moon in Scorpio is happening for you in your 12th house. Let your wild side out, just like I just did. This is a new spiritual cycle for you. The 12th house is the other realms. It is not of this world. Our 12th house energy is not of this world. You could have intense dreams during this new moon. It is a new beginning. It is where we're planting seeds of intention. It is where we have a new vision. It's a new manifestational cycle. But it's the 12th house. So it could be for you, I want to have a spiritually based business. It could be, I want to have a moment that is transcendent. I want to have an out of body experience. I want to experience astral travel. I want to go deep in meditation. I want to reconnect with the divine. I do have a meditation for you. Well, I have 3 meditations on YouTube. They're always linked in the description box below, but also you can go to my website and download a free guided meditation that you can listen to as many times as you want without getting on YouTube. And that will connect you to your divine guidance and your spiritual guides. And there's a gift that you receive from the divine. So if you'd like that, that's kind of perfect for this new moon since it's a 12th house new moon for you. Now, some of you may become more awakened to your own mystical abilities, your own channeling ability. It's a good new moon to, have experiences of mediumship kinds of things. You might want to take a course in mediumship. You might want to do automatic writing. I teach you how to do that in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, where you're writing to spirit and you're receiving answers and you're honing that muscle of channeling, basically. But it's a new moon where you will probably want to rest more. You will probably want to be in your own energy or be in a spiritual kind of group setting if you want to be with a group, such as a spiritual retreat or, just a place where you can really give yourself the TLC that we often want and need during a 12th house new moon. The opposition from Uranus is happening in your 6th house of daily work and your health and your routines and habits. So Uranus in transiting your 6th house, as it has been for many years now, has been saying what change needs to happen in those areas of your life. You could have changed already because this is the 28th degree of this new moon. It's at the very end of the degrees, and Uranus, I believe, is still at 29. They're within a degree of each other, the new moon and Uranus, and that means we're at the end of the cycle. So most of you have already experienced the Uranus changes that are meant to happen. But if anything, we're integrating those changes. And if we haven't had a change yet, this new moon could spark that change or catapult us into a change. in your health, in your work situation, in your routines, or you may just really want a new lifestyle. Uranus makes us restless until we make some sort of a change. So let us see what the cards have to say for you. And you could have really changed your thinking. You could have really gotten into really gotten into manifesting, visioning, changing your mindset, aligning, like the Abraham Hicks getting into the vortex. Any kind of abundance mindset work you could have been doing because of Uranus being in the opposite house. So that's Uranus transiting your 6th house, and if you have any planets in the 12th house especially, but you don't have to have planets in the 12th house to have been doing 12th house reprogramming of your subconscious mind. Spiritual awakening. It's another way of saying it. So many ways of saying basically the same thing. So let's see what the cards have for you, Sag. And if you would please take one moment to like this video, tap the like button, leave me a comment if you care to comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it really helps me and makes a huge difference. And let's see what the cards have to say for you. Go for it. I love this card. Reach for the moon, Sag. Reach for the moon. What is that phrase? Reach for the moon. At the very least, you'll land among the stars. It's so sparkly. It's so you. Go for it. As you can see, she's doing the splits, but she is supported. I don't know if these are skis. I can't remember what these are. This is like a boat, right? Pontoons. But look at her. She's flexible. She's nimble. She's opened up to the full moon. The full moon she's pulling the energy of the full moon down. We do have the Gemini full moon that's coming next after this new moon in Scorpio, and that is in your opposite sign, so that will probably be quite powerful for you. Reach for the moon. Go for it, Sag. If you needed a permission slip, here it is, with lots of enthusiasm, all the rays of sunlight that really remind me of you and your fire and your bright, beautiful energy. If you want to claim this in the comments below, let us know. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, thank you so much for joining me for this Scorpio new moon video. If you would like to meet me on Zoom for a one-on-one astrology reading or clarity coaching session, I would love to connect with you. Go to my website, check out my offerings. The links to both my astrology and my coaching pages are in the description box below. There are testimonials on both pages giving you a sense of what others have received from their readings. It is always my intention that you come away feeling transformed. And I know that sounds like a tall order, but for something to open up in your heart, in your mind, that allows you to drop the weight of anything heavy and to feel lighter and to feel more empowered as you move forward. It is always my intention to be the catalyst for that and to be a compassionate, very present guide for you as well. We can do a life purpose, heart's desire, natal chart reading, a relationship harmony reading. Very soon I'm going to open up my 2026 year ahead readings. Go to my website, check out my offerings. Easy to book online, and I look forward to meeting you on Zoom. As promised, I have a free gift for you that is a soothing guided meditation. It is intended to connect you with your higher guidance, with your spiritual source, to receive a gift from your guides as well. Beautiful for this Scorpio new moon, which I think will be quite a healing new moon. And if you'd like to receive that free gift, instant download, go to my website, subscribe to my inspirational astrology updates that you will get weekly to your inbox, and you'll get that free instant download at the same time. I would love to hear. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts or feelings or sense of this new moon in Scorpio are. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.